Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I think we are live. It's just that lag time, the time that we wait. Wait. Here we go. Okay, now we're live. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. I was dragging my feet. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here. And thanks for posting in Discord for me. I did better this time because I actually remembered to let you know. I'm very proud of myself. But I was dragging my feet because man, I'm struggling to not come in here with a plan and just let it go. So, again, no clue what we're going to talk about today, but it's going to be whatever is meant to be. How are you doing, Judy? Oh, goodness. I got too much stuff going on. Okay, hold on. This is like falling. It's all kinds of stuff happening right now. There we go. Okay, good. Okay, good. And I did see your message. I haven't gotten to read it yet. So we'll chat more. We'll chat more as soon as I'm done. Um but I think what we could start with is trying to think of what we should start with. Let's start with like our number from last week. So our random number that we picked last week was 49. Yeah, no, I'm chilling. I'm good. It's just weird sitting and not saying anything. So we'll talk about something. We'll talk about something. But 49 is that was our vibration of the week that we were supposed to be looking for and paying attention to. And it's pretty interesting now that I think about it, like what we were seeing. I think this is one of the few weeks. Well, all the time, I always see the links between like what's happening in the bigger world, um, and like what's happening like in politics and around the world, and see the links to hip hop. But it's not very often that hip hop is talking about what's happening outside, like in that moment. Like, of course, we have all of the advocacy talk, we have all of the protest speech within the hip hop music, but it's not very often that you, in real time, see those connections. Hi, Susie. So I think this week was kind of interesting because we really were seeing like those connections um, between what was happening in the outside world and then what was also happening within hip hop, like in real time. It was interesting. And I think this vibration of 49 kind of goes along with that. So, oh, hi, Yappa. Welcome. Oh, hi, Tarot Gothis. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. Can you make sure to hit the like button? Because I always forget to do it myself. But I always try remember to do it for other people. So please, hit the like button. Um, so last week our random number was 49. And so it was all of that nine energy that we've been talking about. So this was endings and also shiftings. And I think we have seen a lot about that. That's a good question. We can definitely talk about that, Judy. Because yes, I do, and I can tell you why. Um, so endings and shiftings, but not just ending and shiftings, but it's endings and shiftings that are changing the stability of things. I think we saw the stability of things get shaken up this week. Where, hi Nikki, thanks for coming. Um, we see a lot of times where this somebody's stability is wrapped around their definitions of things. And so it seems like that's what's getting shaken up a lot within hip hop. Not and it's not even within hip hop, but it's hip hop itself. Like how are you defining hip hop? How are you defining if somebody is part of hip hop and is not? And so I think that 49 has really kind of come out in that way. And then when we add this together, we get a 13, which is the biggest transformation you can make. We've talked about this before. And then this goes to another 4. So it really is about those foundations being tested and broken up and changed and shifted. And also what we thought we can consider stable is not so stable anymore within hip hop. Yeah. I'm so glad you were able to catch me again. We had a great time yesterday. So, and today I try and focus in on hip hop, which isn't hard to do cuz hip hop be putting out some really epic vibes. Um so 49 just was our number, our random number that we picked last week. Hi Josh, welcome. Thanks for being here. Um, and we'll talk about this again at the end and then we'll pick another number. But I just needed something to say while I was waiting for you all to be able to come in. So we don't have to talk about this anymore. Um, but there's a couple of things that I was thinking about. But Judy brought up a good point and like a question about Kendrick Lamar being a prophet. And I've gone back and forth about how to present that topic. So I do think let's get to that. Before that, I don't want to forget to just point out. So in when we talked about September vibrations for hip hop, this weekend came up as like a huge vibrational time, like it was a historic big time. And we talked about how this would be the weekend or around these dates, like late last week into early this week, where we could have some really big drops. And I didn't see it coming, but we had clips, and Pharrell actually performed at the Vatican today. It was night there. And that's incredibly historic. Um, I watched it before coming on live. Did any of you get to see it? It was it was it was crazy. It was crazy and overwhelming because you could feel the magnitude of yeah, you could feel the magnitude of those vibrations that were coming from that event. And um it was just unreal. I didn't expect to be moved the way that I was. Like I was bawling. And not just because of the song, because Birds Don't Sing gets me every time. Um but it was like from the moment that Pharrell walked out there and he had the grills in his mouth, both the top and the bottom. And I was just like, yes, sir. Yes, 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 sir. Like, just came out in his most authentic self, just beaming, and then having Pusha T and Malice, like, and they are ones that you look across hip hop, they probably would not be the ones that you would select to be able to go, because they were on those lists of um people talking about their lyrics and how they were perpetuating negative things in hip hop, but they went there and they just exuded this powerful force. It was just incredible. It was incredible. So I really wanted to make sure, I just like me making it here. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about that and that I brought that up. Also, because when I was thinking about why it was so moving for me, it wasn't just that it was historical. It was that it was a story being told that doesn't get to be seen. And that in recent years, and really for probably the lifetime of hip hop, has been silenced or attempted to be silenced. And we have things happening right now where that story is being censored, or attempted to be censored. And so it was just epic. And that actually led me to look at some of the vibrations that I was seeing. So, like, you can't see over here, but I got a stack of like notebooks because, like, all day, every day, I'm just writing down the words and the numbers that are coming to me, like documenting them. And so that's what I was doing while I was watching earlier today. But the word story, and we know that hip hop has been the storyteller. And it comes from a line of musical genres that are the storyteller. And that most art, just in general, are the storytellers. But there's something different about the storytelling that happens in hip hop. And so the word story adds up to a 97. And when we add a on there so that it's a story, we get 98. And I wanted to add that on there because this 98 has been coming up a lot, so much, this year. And the first time that it was really hitting me hard is when I watched the movie Sinners, which of course is a lot of that ancestral generational history of hip hop, and hip hop's included in that. But the name of the movie Sinners also adds up to 98. 98 also is the numerical vibration of the word trust. And we've had lots and lots of discussions, especially in the last couple weeks, of like, who can you trust and who can you not trust, and what does that actually mean to trust. So there's some kind of really cool vibrational story that is coming out of hip hop, and hip hop's at the forefront of it. Like really making historical events. So I just wanted to make sure that we talked about that. Let me see what other numbers. Actually, there's a couple of other 98s that I think I should probably write down. So 98 also is the numerical vibration of the word together. And 98 is the numerical vibration of humanism. So I also watched Professor Sky's video that he put out earlier today. And he talked a lot about humanism. And humanism is also that 98. Also, in that performance, there were in the speeches and in the songs a lot about humanity in general and being able to come into humanity. So, just a little side note, humanity, the word humanity actually resonates at 111, and also at 111 is the word retrograde. And we are currently in retrograde season where we have planets. Yeah, 5 planets in retrograde. So that's resonating at 555. So we would expect to see lots of fives and lots of 15s. Okay. That's all. I had to get that out. Um, yeah, but we can talk about. Judy asked about um, Kendrick Lamar being a prophet and what that actually looks like. So that I've actually been thinking about like how to share with you what I actually see when I watch live performances. So um I enjoy watching reactors react to the music, and I enjoy watching live performances, even if it's on like in a digital format. So being able to watch like the concert clips or like recently when Offset and JID performed on Jimmy Fallon. I like to watch those because I can actually see um, the vibrations that are being created, how they are coming from the artist and weaving together with the instrument vibrations, and then how they are going into the person. So I think we have to kind of start there of like what's actually happening vibrationally when we are listening to and experiencing music. Okay. Whew, itchy head. Um, so when we are experiencing the world around us, this is why we have the senses that we have. And so we, in music, when we're listening and experiencing music, we also were experiencing those vibrations through our senses. So we have, our main senses. I can't draw. I keep thinking about like drawing a person, but it's gonna be a jacked up stick figure. But that's okay. Well, at least we'll make them black. Here we go. There we go. So here's our person that's listening to music. Um, and so when they're getting the vibration, so we have the vibration of a song. So like I have this open. So like, and that's kind of interesting too. But if we have a song, the song is made up of the vibrations of the words that are being said. So you get the words themselves, which are vibrations. You get them from the person, and that's their life path number and their name, like we talked about so many times, that those are their major vibrations. So those are woven in there. And then you get the vibrations of the instruments themselves. And you actually get slight vibrations of whoever's playing the instruments, but also like the producers. it's kind of interesting because you see well, I keep saying we, but like I think you all could see them if you really tried. But what I see is that I see the vibration of the instrument itself and the vibrations that it's creating. And it's almost like, you know how like on a wire, it has that coating around it? That coating around it is the energy coming from whoever's playing the instrument or the producers themselves. So all of these vibrations are weaving together. So it's just like if it's a tapestry or like an art piece. Like if you're looking at somebody's art piece and you're seeing how all of the different colors and the imagery is all coming together, and you can feel that artist's vibration coming off of that artwork because that's what they've put in. That's why like we can sing K Dot's lyrics all day, but it won't feel the same. It won't feel the same because the vibration is changing because of who's actually saying it. And so when we have so I also saw this when like an example of it is like with that horrible song, and I can't even believe that I'm talking about it on the anniversary of Tupac's death. But when stupid Labrie used the AI voice of Tupac, that's why it felt so much emptier, because the actual vibration of the person was not in there, because that doesn't come just from the voice. That's also what actual human artists have over AI. It's kind of like the same as when everybody was freaking out about there being clones and being able to make clones, and then started realizing that the clones didn't have the soul of the person. They don't have the same vibration. They're unable to produce the same vibration. And so with any song, you have all of these vibrations that are weaving together. Yeah, that's a good example, Susie. Kendrick's in 95 is a great example. But how that's woven together. And so it's woven together, it's created, it's molded to be able to send out a particular vibration. And so when that vibration then goes out to us, we typically hear it, you know, in our ears. Those are funny. So we hear it. If there's like a music video, and even if there's not, we still see it. So we either see what they have given us, or it's like reading a book where the imagery comes up in your mind. So you hear it, you see it, but then you also feel it in your body. And we'll just make that one big here because there's more to that. And that's just for any type of music. And so you have just these general senses where any music you can hear, you can see, you can feel. But then what makes a particular song or a particular artist resonate even more within you is first it's your mind. And your mind connection is it's the way that you are defining and connecting with the lyrics themselves, but it's also in your mind is where your memories are. So if the artist and the song is connecting with your own memories and your own experience of life, then you're feeling that vibration even stronger. So all of these different places is where we're getting this vibration in. And the more of these that are hit with a song, the more we feel that song, and then the more that it hits multiple places for a person or for like multiple people, then it becomes like a movement of that vibration through the people. So we have our general senses, and please interact. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if you have questions or if I should just keep going, because I could go on a tangent on this type of stuff because it's cool. Um, so you have it where you hear, see, feel it. These vibrations that are coming in. It's a weaving of these vibrations, and then it can also hit you in the mind, where your memories are coming, and it's also the definition that you're feeling. But then part of this feeling is also hitting you in your heart. And so if it's moving you, if it's giving you those emotional feels, um, that's when it's hitting you in the heart. And a lot of times it has to hit you in the head first. And then it's like those connections that you make in definition and in memory is then what goes to your heart and has you be able to feel it in your heart space as well. So I don't know if other people feel this. You can confirm or deny for me. But I know for me, I can see when it's hitting people in these different ways. That's also why when you watch reactors, why they pause at certain things, because it's certain lyrics, certain part of the vibrational tapestry is hitting them different. It's all of a sudden hitting them in the mind. And having them have a different vibrational reaction and needing to express that, or it's hitting them in the heart, and so then they have a different vibrational reaction to that. um, the other thing is that we can have these vibrations hit us in the soul. Usually how that happens, I don't know how I'm gonna draw this because it's all crazy. I don't know. So when it's hitting your soul, it feels like, or what it looks like to me and what it feels like to me, and you can tell me if this is what you feel. But when something is hitting you in the soul, it's hitting you in all of these places where it's all of your general senses. Um, any of the songs that we would consider the party or the party songs, they're really only hitting your general senses and you're feeling it in your body. So that's the feel. So you get the see, the hear, the feel. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to have a good time. But then the next level of song is hitting you in the mind. And then the next level of song is hitting you in the heart. And then you get to this soul. And what it looks like to me is the vibrations of the song are coming down. They hit the top of your head. And then they move down through your body. And they go out through the ground. This is what it is when it's hitting your soul. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Judy. Like those real true dance songs, you're feeling the vibrations. That's why we call it a vibe. Because you're feeling the vibrations actually in your body. It's making your body move. Because if you think about it, everything is energy, everything is vibration. Vibration moves just like electricity, and our body and the nervous system of our body is electrical. So when we are feeling the music, we're feeling the vibrations in our body, we are literally feeling the vibrations move through our own electrical system. Okay. I hopefully I'm not like going too crazy here. So we have these like different levels of song. We have the first level is kind of where it's just hitting your senses. So it's just those um hear, see, feel kind of songs. And it doesn't mean that they're bad songs. It just means that that's how you're vibing with it. Um and Yeah, exactly, Susie. Exactly. Like you can't help but to move. So when you hear a song that is hitting all of those senses, because we can hear a song and just hear it and not actually see it or feel it. So, um, I guess these are the levels of songs that you actually vibe with, that you actually like, and then it hits you. Then it, like another level is if it hits you in the mind. And then when it hits you in the mind, it has the opportunity to hit you in the heart. And it doesn't seem like there's songs that hit you in the soul without hitting you in the heart and the mind also. So this is like what the vibrations are doing in your body when you're taking in that music. Um, and this is why also there's certain lyrics that hit you different. It's because those words, oh my gosh, I'm running out of colors, but the words over here, we saw that with every single letter, the vibration changes. So every single lyric has a different vibration. So it's kind of like looking at this vibrational tapestry that has all of these different colors in it. And if you're going and you're like, wow, those red threads in here are really beautiful. That's the same thing of what when you have certain lyrics, you can like a whole song, but there's certain lyrics that just hit you different. That's what's happening. It's those particular vibrations, and usually those vibrations also, they're being filtered through like your natural vibration. So your natural vibrations of like your life path number and your name, and then your experience. So like all of those that we saw like in the circle of like the vibrations that make you who you are. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense, because I can't go on and explain to you Kendrick's prophecy if this doesn't make sense, and I want to make sure this makes sense. Um, okay, good. Okay, good. 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 Okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense. So this is what's happening when we are experiencing, or an outside observer is experiencing um, a vibration of the music and all the vibrations of the music. So then, if we think about the artist side, so we'll make the artist gray. So there's the artist. So we have artists that they can't help but to put in their life path number and their name. So that's one vibration that they're just automatically sending out because of who they are. So their life path vibration and then their name vibration, it they can't help it. It's going to be woven in there because of who they are. But that's also when like some of these artists, they give themselves a different name, and like some of them, I'm trying to think if I could think of an example. Maybe you all can think of an example. But if you could think of an example of an artist where it's like your name doesn't match. Like your name does not match you. Like what the hell is this name that does not match? Um oh yeah, it does look like he's trying to run away. Maybe I'll put some shoes on him. Cuz he's a runner, he's a track star. He runs away when it gets hard. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, that's funny. That gave me a good giggle. Um, so you can't help but put your life path number and your name into anything that you're creating. And this is for any artist. Um, but those artists where their name doesn't match, usually it doesn't match because they're giving off a different vibration than what they're calling themselves. So that's where like the authenticity of the vibrations aren't aligning. I can't think of an example. If any of you can think of an example, but I know they're out there because there have been times where I'm like, huh? Why is that your name? Why is that the name that you use? Or it's like when you have an artist where um their like stage name or their artist name resonates so well that then you hear their real name and you're like, ew, your real name don't work. So it's like which of these names, these vibrations are actually getting infused within the art that they're doing. So they automatically have this life path number and the name vibrations that are part of that. Hey, I didn't want it anymore. Um, but then similar to over here, you can tell what vibrations they're actually using to be able to create their music. So if they're using their mind, then this is also a set of vibrations that are coming out. And remember that mind can be also, it's the lyrics and how we're defining those words. So the definition of the words that they're using, that's also why when somebody like says words and it's like, why is he saying that word? That's weird. Yes, Josh. You're, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good example. That's a great example. Thank you for that. Oh, you guys are giving me lots of good giggles today. Oh, yeah, that's a great example. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so from their mind is coming how they're defining the lyrics, but also it's coming from their memories and experiences. And so those vibrations are also going into what they're creating. So if they are defining, so we have discovered that there's quite a few of these. Hi, baby love. Thank you for coming. We have discovered that there's quite a few of like people in hip hop where they're talking about being on the streets and all their hardships, but then you find out that they are middle class, living in a luxury basement of their mama's house. And it's kind of like, oh, so that's why it did not resonate. That's why that vibration just didn't fit. Similar to that misfitting name. You can tell when what they're saying, it's that vibration is not infused in there. This is also how you can tell just by how you're feeling the music. If they have like not had those experiences. Oh, cool. Okay. So that means we got to get done. So we can all go over to Koala's live. What, on a Saturday? Okay, that's exciting. I love that. So thinking about how their memories and their experiences are being infused in. I think that's a lot of what we're seeing with some of these newer rappers in particular, is that they're talking about the same themes, the same life experiences of like previous rappers, but they don't have those experiences. They don't have those memories. So the vibration feels different when they actually do. They also can infuse their emotions, and that can be a vibration that gets added in because this is the heart space. And so if you're infusing your emotions into the music that you're producing, then that's coming from your heart space. So those can be infused also. And just like with the listening, you also could be producing vibrations from your soul. And I don't even know how to visualize that, but here's the soul. There we go. I don't know why we went all the way down. It looks like a little winky, so we'll erase that and do it over. There we go. Better. So they also can be sending vibrations from their soul, but it's all about the authenticity. So if there's authenticity in their name and in who they are, then you're getting authentic vibrations from their life path number and their name. If there's authenticity within the lyrics that they're saying, they connect well with how they're defining those words that they're using, but also it's aligned with their experiences and their memories. Yeah. Then that more authentic it is, the stronger those vibrations. When it's authentic and true heart space emotions, then you're getting those vibrations. And when it's truly from a soul place, like when they're really using their soul to infuse those vibrations, that's also what you feel. Where they're getting a lot of these, so they can get the vibrations from their memories, their experiences, their own life path number, their name, their own emotions, but they also can get inspiration. So it's their source of inspiration that is sending vibrations into them, that is then like getting filtered and translated into what they are giving. Yes, baby love. I guess Koala is going live soon. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I'm excited. So the inspiration is what's coming in to an artist, and then that's combining with their memories, their experiences, how they're defining the lyrics and the terms that they're using, the emotions that they're choosing to include, and then the soul expression through their art. And this is for any artist, but we see, and I keep saying we, but I'm gonna keep saying we because I really believe that everybody could see this if they really paid attention to the vibrations. And you are experiencing this. This is why different artists and different songs hit you different. So we're feeling all of this vibration. So this is what's happening in the artist's body. It's here at the point of inspiration that we get big, huge differences. And the biggest differences that I've seen with Kendrick Lamar. So, while I see for really all artists, this inspiration of whatever is giving them inspiration, it's going into their mind, and then it can travel from their mind to their heart, and then it can travel from their mind and their heart together into their soul to be able to produce these vibrations. Kendrick is different. And you don't see it very often. Kendrick is getting his inspiration straight from above. That's why, like, I don't know if anybody has seen my comments, but I always say that he's listening to God. It's like the universe, it's like God is telling him what to say and what to do, and he's listening. So it's like when we say that you need to listen to your intuition, that we all need to have a time when we are meditating or we're praying, a time when we can quiet our mind so we can fully hear the inspiration that is coming in. So we can fully receive that message. The difference between anybody that could be receiving those messages from God and a prophet is that a prophet actually translates them and sends them out into the world. So, yes, Kendrick could have some background information that he's infusing. So that's part of his memories and experience. This would be like some background information that he could have, that he's infusing in. But from what I've seen, and this is why what he says, it's not like it's only to one person. And it's not like it's only in one place in time, because God is everywhere and God is everyone. God sees all, hears all. And all he's doing is translating that. Oof. And that's giving me like chills, and it's making me super hot, which helps me to know that, yes, I'm on the right track. And we see this prophecy in Kendrick Lamar, but we see it also. There's lots of other people in different genres of music, but at different artists, in different points in time in history. So if there's somebody that made a speech like 30 years ago and you're like, oh, that actually still resonates, it's because it's God. It's God speaking. And that's what a prophet is. A prophet is supposed to be the voice of God. Now, not everybody that receives those messages actually translates them and puts them out into the world. So that's the difference. That's the difference. Ooh, I feel dizzy. All right, let me look at the chat if I can. Yes. Yes, Josh. Yes. Yes, exactly, Josh. And it's helpful in that, I don't know, it gives me some hope that even with all of the muck and mess and the vibrations that are bombarding us on a regular basis, that there's only one direct line from God. And God's words, regardless of who it comes from, God's words hit you directly in the soul. So that's why I needed to tell you this beforehand. Because generally in regular music and in everyday music, it has to go through all of these levels to get to the soul, not God's word. And it doesn't matter who you hear it from or how you hear it. God's word, the word directly from the universe. It doesn't matter if you call it God, Allah, Shua, Yahweh. It does not matter. The universe. It's always going to hit you directly in the soul. Every single time. That's why there's certain lyrics and certain songs that, regardless of if people like them or not, they still get hit in the soul. It still hits them in the soul. And it doesn't matter who says it. This is also why we hear repeated phrases from different people and in different ways. It's the universe, it's God trying to get that message to us and to as many people as possible, however that message can get to us. So you hear the message, it hits you in the soul from different sources so that you get it. Yes. Oh yeah. So like the birds don't sing is like, you can hear where it's not just the memories, it's not just the senses, it's not just the heart. It's hitting you directly in the soul. And there's certain words and certain lyrics. That's why like people can like not like the lyrics or like the song, but they'll repeat the lyrics. Or why you will hear somebody like they'll be like, oh, I don't like hip-hop. Hip-hop's not for me. But then they say things that are the lyrics, and you're like, you're saying the lyrics. How do you say that you don't like it and it's the lyrics? And it can be that they haven't heard the lyrics, but that message has come to them through a different form of inspiration directly from God and hit them in the soul. That's also why when there are artists, hip-hop artists, artists in general, speakers, leaders, people in general, that are not speaking from a place of true inspiration, we can tell. It doesn't hit the people the same. It doesn't hit the people the same. Now, the only thing that I don't know what the right word is, because it doesn't scare me, it doesn't bother me. It's just something that I recognize, is that any of this like energy that comes, these vibrations that are coming not just from God but from all of us, are very neutral. They're very neutral. Like, vibration is neutral. It's not positive or negative, good or bad. It's based on the perspective of which the person receiving those vibrations stands, as dictates how they take it. If it's a positive or a negative thing, or if it causes them to want to change, or if they want to put up barriers and act like they didn't hear it. The vibration doesn't change. The vibration never changes. It's the perspective. And so then that's why, like, when you hear people reacting to different hip-hop songs, they have different reactions because it's from their perspective. That's also why their hip-hop can be all over the world. And like a song like Not Like Us can resonate with so many people around the whole world. It's because they are getting hit with the vibration, even if they do not understand the words. Even if they do not speak English, they do not understand English, they don't know what they're saying. And I had that experience when I went to France, where they knew all of the songs. They could sing all of the songs in English, like with a perfect accent, but had no idea what they were saying. But they were having the same experience. It's because of the vibrations. and because of the perspective they were in to receive those vibrations in a particular way. Yes, 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 baby love. We are all God's vessel. Because we're not just vibrationally connected to ourself. We're vibrationally connected to the earth and to the universe and to God. We're all just one big, huge vibrational tapestry. That's why, like, the best way that I can explain what I see is like from the movie Matrix, where if you see, like, you can see the people in numbers, you can see the buildings in numbers, you see the cars in numbers, but that code is not broken up. That is really how it is. We are all intricately connected vibrationally, even beyond just the earth. Where it's crazy sometimes when I look at the astrology, like, I know it's weird, but I sometimes like to NASA has NASA has where you can listen to the planets. And they actually make sounds. Like, it's fascinating, but I love the vibrations because that's how the planets are speaking, and those vibrations are intricately connected to us as well. That's why astrology impacts us the way that it does and why it makes so much sense. So a lot of times, that's also what we would consider prophets, or people that are able to use divination to, like, predict the future, where it seems like they're predicting the future. All they're really doing is they're listening to the bigger vibration that we're all connected with. We can all get it. We just have to learn how we hear it best and how we listen. We have to get in the right perspective to be able to do that. Okay. I feel like I talked a really long time, but this was amazing conversation. So what else? What other questions do you have? What else can I add to this? How much time do we have before Koala goes on? So, like, when you have, like, your favorite movie, this is exactly what they're doing also as an artist. So the directors are actually getting that inspiration from outside of them, but when it's ones where it's God's word, you can definitely feel it. So, like, there's certain movies that hit you right in the soul, because just the same way as we are thinking about, like, how music hits us, any kind of art, including movies, um any kind of art, any kind of expression. This can also be speeches. It could be writing and books. It all is hitting us in very similar ways. It usually has to go through, the vibrations have to go through this process. Wow, this was cool. I did not expect to talk about this. I love it though. This is great. Okay, 8 minutes. So, why don't you give me any of your questions, comments, anything else you want me to add to this? And we'll go and talk about our number of the week and get a new number. So then we can be ready to go over and get to Koala's Live. That's a very good question. So, Josh asking about blocking, like, negative influences. Um, yeah, yeah, any false narratives. So, this is where that's a very good question. So this actually comes back to what I was saying about perspective. So your perspective. Hi, Cousin B. Thanks for being here. We're in here deep. We going deep today. So it's based on your perspective. And so if you think about your perspective, so let's see. If we have any kind of vibration, and this is pure vibration, this is neutral, and it's coming in to you and your perspective. Your perspective behaves kind of like a prism, and it breaks it apart. And so you can have, from your perspective, you can have part that's negative, and you can have part that is like positive. You can have stuff that's in between. You can have stuff that feels loving. You can have, from your perspective, you can have some stuff that, feels respectful. You can have, from your perspective, things that can feel like offensive. But it's all coming from our perspective. And what makes up our perspective is our experiences. This includes our traumas. Move this down a little bit. So it's coming from our own experiences, our own vibrations. So this would be like our life path and our name. And also coming from our own identity vibrations. But those would like include, so this would include like any of your ancestors or stuff like that. So that's what's going in to make your perspective. So if there's something that is hitting you negatively, it's because it's your perspective. And so the way, you don't want to block it, because that doesn't actually get rid of it. What you have to do is you have to go backwards. You have to look at what is being negatively said. Why are you taking it negatively? A lot of the times it's hitting one of these different. Like it's rubbing something the wrong way about our ancestors or about our collective group. Like that's like when Black people hear things that are offensive to all of us, and to our ancestors that have brought us here. Then we have to go back and we have to look at that. It could also be just who you are. So your own vibrations aren't rubbing the right way with what you're experiencing. A lot of the time, this is where our lessons are. Usually if it's hitting you different, and it's because of your life path number, your name, it's usually a lesson that you need to learn. Or it could be from your experience and your traumas, and this is your place of healing. So when you discover the root cause within yourself of that, why that perspective is hitting you so hard, then now you can actually manage your perspective, and you can be around what used to be considered negative, and you can, like, from a not a will, like from a healthy place, be able to choose to not interact. So that's why I don't like to use the word block. Because in just blocking it, you're not actually receiving the lessons or the healing that you need to receive. Does that make sense? So it's really backtracking. And this is why I think it's so very important that we learn how to understand our own vibrations. Because we don't encounter those things for no reason. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And for subbing. Thank you. I love you all so much. You all are the best. Does this answer your question, Josh? Does anybody else have any other questions about this? Because it's and this is mostly just from what I see in the vibrations and from my own experiences. Like there's always things that are going to rub you wrong. But your response to them is what's very telling about what's happening in your own body and in your own mind. When you can respond to something that is coming across negative in a very neutral way, it doesn't mean you don't respond. It's you respond from a place of neutrality. I think that's also why like even we see like with with all of these back and forth and beef and stuff coming out and stuff being said, why some people feel the need to respond and others don't. Because it's their perspective is different. It's hitting them different. That's probably good. I think we all need breaks every now and then. I took a very long break, so I'm here. I'm here. I will be here teaching. Does this answer your question? Does any other questions come up around this? Yeah. Yeah. No, mm-mm. No, okay, good. Good. I'm very glad that this helps because it's all based on our perspective. That's why um somebody can say something to you and it doesn't hit you. Um but then a different person can say the exact same thing and it hits you different. It's because it's hitting one of these areas. So it's not blocking it. Don't block. Do not block anything. And that goes for all of this. And that's something that I'm having to learn. That it's really, really important not to block any of this. Because even when, so like for myself, because of trauma that I have experienced, I have learned how to block off some of these things, these really things that should be considered positive. And so those you don't want to block either. Okay, Judy, I'll be there soon. We'll all be there soon. If you're leaving to go to Koala's Live, please make sure to hit the like as you leave. We're going to go and get a vibration for the week, and then we will all be over there. Thank you, Judy. So you never want to block. And unfortunately, a lot of the um healing methods that we've had are blocking. Like just telling somebody to like, "Oh, just don't think about it anymore. Just forget it. Just let it go." That's blocking it. You cannot block it. You have to figure out where is it hitting you in your perspective, and is it a lesson that you need to learn, or is it healing that you need to have happen so that it doesn't hit you as raw in the same way. It also comes back to where we were discussing. So if you look in your birth chart, you can find a lot of these like healing wounds. So sometimes we'll have like life experiences that give us these traumas, but you could also have it with your Chiron, which is your wound space. So looking in your birth chart to know where your wounds are can give you a place to be able to start as well. And sometimes it's easier to start with like your astrological chart to heal some of those wounds, and not go straight to the life experiences. We don't need anybody having any mental breakdowns trying to heal their traumas, and do not do this alone. Make sure that you're coming to a supportive space. You're finding supportive people. You're trying multiple techniques, doing multiple things to find what works best for you. But do not do this alone. Do not block. Oh gosh, yeah, you're right. You're right, Josh. They're big on, but because if you are not healing, then they can keep sending these negative messages to you, and it's hitting you so hard that it debilitates you. So now you're not able to behave in a neutral way. And part of what I'm seeing happening right now is that there's a lot of people in these marginalized and oppressed communities, and also the Black community, that have done a lot of healing work. And so then these negative things that are being said, they're irritating, but they don't hit us the same way. They don't hit us where it's forcing us into action, and that's what is trying to be done. They're trying to get you with these negative things, poke those wounds, so then you act out. Not good. We don't want that to happen. Thank you so much for adding that, baby love. Like, and I think that's really important also, to make sure that we're sharing our own experiences with each other. And that's also what Kendrick does. That hits us so hard in his music, is he's sending out a lot of his own experiences, his own memories, his own traumas, his own pain, but also his own healing. He's filtering what God has to say through his own experiences and hitting us directly in the soul. It's powerful and amazing. And I love it. And I'm going to stop talking so much. But I love this conversation. This is an amazing conversation. So let's continue it. Please know that you can always put additional questions or comments in the comments of any of these lives, and I usually will try really hard to get to them. And if you have more private questions, you're free to contact me, and we can have more of these discussions. But we are all here for the healing. Amazing. Okay. So let's wrap this up so we can all go over to Koala's Live. So last week, and actually I already wrote this, so but we got to go back through all of this. Close your eyes for a minute. Okay. So last week, our like this past week, our vibration to really keep track of and to pay attention to was 49. And I do think we saw this resonating a lot. I didn't see a lot of the number 49, but I did see and experience a lot of these endings and shifting of energy that was really making things unstable. It was testing the foundations of things. And you let me know if you've seen that this week also. And also was seeing these bigger transformations beginning to happen. I don't know that I saw any that really happened, except for maybe having clips at the Vatican. Like, that was like a huge change in definition and in foundation and stability. History. Make sure you're documenting it. And make sure you're watching it and you're documenting how all those vibrations are hitting you. I'm going to have to go watch it again to make sure that I get everything documented. So this was last week. And I like to give you these vibrations of the week so everybody can start paying attention, because that's the first thing that we need to do to be able to recognize not only the vibrations that are around us, but how they're impacting us. So just like Josh's question about how to deal with negative vibrations that are coming and hitting you, you first have to recognize these vibrations within yourself and that are around you. So I like being able to have us think about a different vibration every week. So let me get over here to our number wheel. And we'll spin this, and then we will be out of here. All right, let's spin. Spin that wheel. Woohoo! I think it's so funny how you can't, like, see any of the lines on here. 5, 12. Interesting. Okay. So, real quick, just to give you a quick definition of 512 so that you know what vibrations you're looking for. So 512, we have a couple of things that are happening here. We first have this 2 again, where this 2 is ending dualism. So we would see this a lot of the times where we have the polarization. So I expect that we are going to continue to see the polarization. We're going to continue to see that 11 vibration. But it's where the polarization or the dualism is actually getting resolved. But remember that the only way these can be resolved is either you come to a place of compromise where pieces of both are they're able to come together to create something new, or it's a battle. This is why people are feeling very much of like a spiritual warfare. So that's one vibration there. We also have this 12 that's here together. 12 is the vibration of a change in perspective. So we can look for if people are changing their perspective, if they're changing their stance, and truly changing their stance, not just saying they are, but if they're truly changing their stance, that's this change in perspective. And then that's interesting because that it's a change in perspective that actually goes to change. So any changes that we are expecting to see this week, we would expect them to come from a change in perspective. So changing a definition, changing a mindset, changing the way somebody's doing something or thinking about something, and that causing a ripple effect to a change. The last thing is that when we add this up, we get another 8. So we should expect to see this week some additional reap what you sow energy. Reap what you sow. And this 8 energy is hitting people hard. We should also probably expect to continue to hear topics around karma and return. Okay, so that's that. The last thing I'll say is later tonight we have a last quarter moon. So this is when energies are coming to an end. These energies were originally planted in June 2023. So just take a moment to go back and think about what was happening in June 2023 and what cycles, what situations, what people have come to an end in your life, and make sure you're fully clearing them out tonight and into tomorrow. Okay, that's what I got. Let's all go head over to Qualities Live. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure to hit that like button on your way out, and I will see you over there.